life golden. Yeah, we're golden, nigga, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can never break us down.
Hi, maraming salamat for watching us today. This is the Salamat Podcast, the show that brings you appreciation in the smallest things. Every week, we will try to share some goodness to uplift your heart. I am your host, Coach A, and my co-host, Coach P. We'll be entertaining you for the next fun hour. So chill back, and the show will start right now. All right.
All right.
Another Salamat Saturday.
It is. It is a Salamat
Hope
Saturday. How are
everyone's
you,
doing
Alexis?
fine and safe at home. Paul, I think you probably are on mute.
Um, hmm. Am I still
Yeah,
on? Yeah. Somebody called in earlier. Let me step back again, and I'll dial in again.
there you go. Nope. So on mute. Yep. Nope. All right. So while we're
Can you hear me
waiting
now?
for, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yo, peace.
Yeah. What's going on there?
I don't know. Somebody called me up on Bluetooth, and then changes. Technology, man. Technology.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to Fun Saturday as we go through our episode number 8. This is still a pilot episode, and today we are covering the new norm still, part 3, which is shopping safely. So, and Paul, just want to let you know that I'm very excited about the changes in the quarantine stages. So we're entering the GCQ, and I'm not quite sure what it actually means, but I hope that the shopping situation will be a lot easier compared to before. So let's see
Oh,
how that goes.
oh man. I'm excited too, but at the same time, when you said that it's gonna be a lot easier, it might be for the different aspects. But remember, the GCQ people will be allowed to go out, so there's gonna be a lot of that now. But I'm still glad that it's going to be changing. It means that you'll be able to do the things that other stuff that you can do outside ECQ before. So transportation, I think that's gonna be up already. So pretty exciting for stuff. Exciting things next week.
Yeah, because there's definitely some stores that I wish was open, enable for me to get the things that I need.
Ah,
There's not a whole lot of stuff that I really need, but I came to learn that one things I really need these days is some exercise
yeah.
equipment, and wanted to go to Chris Sports and pick something up, and unfortunately they're not open, and ordering it online is another
Yeah.
different kind of craziness because I order stuff in Lazada and man, I still haven't gotten it, and it's been over 3 months
Oh,
already. Yeah, in
three
fact,
months.
two of my items, they already sent me a notification saying that if you haven't received it, we'll just give you a refund. And I'm like,
Ouch.
oh, thank God, so well, it's better that they actually reach out that way.
Yeah.
But I did try to go to the grocery store. I went to
Mm-hmm.
SNR, went to Landers, went to Robinson. I did mall to I did groceries to
Tour.
grocery. Yeah, so because we were doing our shrimp and needed to get some ingredients. So how about you? I mean, have you done your grocery this week?
Um, well, this week not yet because what we did last week, we told you we went, um, um, we stacked up the ref that we got and made sure that that's gonna last for like a couple of weeks so that we limit the time that we go out. So no groceries yet for this week, but next week we'll see.
Well, I hope it does get easier next week. So
Yeah.
and with the GCQ, I hope there will be more stores that's going to be open. But at the same time, I hope everybody's going to be safe. But
Yep.
aside from the stores opening up, the things that the things that it's currently a trend or the new norm now is shopping online. And online, there's so many things that you can go buy, as far as buying your vegetables, your meat, your ingredients, and there's
Yeah.
also like barting that's happening now too. So all right, so well, today we have invited some guests, and these guys, you know they've been also locked up like everybody else, and I'm sure that they have been doing their grocery shopping, or they found some
Mm-hmm.
creative ways of actually doing it. In fact, one of them is sending her doing her business online, so she is fulfilling orders via online, so she's quite familiar with the logistics and all that stuff. So maybe she can share what's the best
Yeah.
way to probably order stuff online too. But at the same time, I just want to let people know that we are going to be giving away some grocery monies today. So
Boom.
to make this very easy for you guys to get this grocery money, so all you need to do is basically like uh this show, and then comment at the bottom, and basically just tell us where you have gone shopping lately. That's it, right? So like the page or like this show, and then from there comment on the bottom, and then we'll do a draw later on, and then we'll send you cash, but you have to make sure you have Gcash too, so we can send to you that way.
Mm.
All right, Paul. So why don't we get right into it? So we've got our guests waiting. Eric just gave a signal, said just wait 1 second, but we can probably bring in Cheska for now.
Yeah.
So Cheska's ready to go. Paul, you want to go and introduce?
Hey, Cheska. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Hello, good afternoon to everybody, and good afternoon, Alexis and Paul. So excited to be here today.
Wow.
Yay!
Yay.
Is there now sounds like, like, ooh, like an applause?
Well, let's do that. Yeah, there you
There
go.
was, there was,
Ah,
there was.
okay, okay.
Cheska, um, heard you have like an online business, and we're so thankful um, for folks like you who continue to do business and to do it despite of the pandemic that we experienced this during this time, right? And I think it helped ease a lot of things for our people in the Philippines and here. So tell us more about your business. What's it? What's happening within your world within your business?
Right. So thank you so much for that. Recado Philippines started last year. We sell spice blends, which I literally created here. If you can see at the back, these are some of my products. I
Wow.
created it here with an idea, with a vision statement to make Filipino cooking exciting again. I have this wish that all of us can just come home again and eat good food with the family and not go outside anymore and eat in restaurants where it's MSG filled,
Mm-hmm.
high on chemicals and maybe not using the right oils as well and or ingredients. So I really wanted to be able to be available to all of the houses across the Philippines, and I'm very specific to Philippines and not so much abroad. Whilst everybody or any entrepreneur would like to go worldwide or global, my thought process is really for Filipino families to come back home again and cook because that's what we were proud about. We are foodies by nature.
That's
And
right.
creating the blends that we started, we were very clear, or I was very clear as well, that I wanted it e-commerce because there's also another problem I was trying to solve. A lot of us are afraid of it. We're
Yeah.
afraid to use our banking details into the system because we're afraid of being hacked. Especially that we use our savings account rather than a credit card, and there are not a lot of credit card holders here as well. So I wanted to bring that up and even offer COD. 2 days delivery, and then the pandemic strike. So I was so worried about the pandemic. In fact, we had a meeting with the rest of my partners, and we thought that we're not going to do well, but it was the reverse. We had an amazing time in doing this because our sales went up. Actually, our sales quadrupled in during the pandemic, especially the second announcement of the GCQ or the ECQ, where it's extended.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, we were like catering to our normal rate of, say 50 customers end up to be quadruple that. And we were very happy, but then we had logistics problem, right? So our riders, our Lala Move riders, which we are partnered with and Grab, were also very difficult to put in our schedule and have them pick up our orders. So it was a nightmare in the beginning. So we solved that by hiring them directly. So I
Oh,
hired
nice.
them. Yeah, on a weekend, we changed our delivery time to now 1 week. It gives us time to put in all of our fulfillment and give freshly blend bottles out to customers, and we now ended up delivering only once a week. And then the riders, I have like three of them, north, south, east, and west. Kind of, there's one that's east and west and the other one's north and south, and delegated it, but we also upped their salaries to help
Nice.
them as
Wow.
well.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
it's kind of are giving back to the riders, and every time they come back here, I give them food. They have merienda, and they have drinks. I give them extra as well to take home. One of our riders ended up being sick as well. That I end up giving additional or a little bit of tip there. I also gave them a few of our samples so that they can try it at home.
mm,
So it was
Nice.
it was that we had to adapt. I think that was
I
the
see.
the lesson learned there. We adapted.
Yeah. So when
Well, I
they,
hope the rider gets well soon. Yeah. Go ahead, Alexis.
so I was
So we
just
think,
gonna ask, when they come over, you guys still make sure that social distancing is followed and everything, right?
Yeah, Alexis, I think because this is so new, it took me a while before I actually figured out, oh my gosh, I'm out without a mask.
Mm,
And I had to hurry up back and then put it back on and then come back. They were very clear. Actually, the riders were fully equipped with everything. I was the one who wasn't compliant. So I had to go back and then and then I realized, okay, I have to do this now and acquire it. So now my keys and everything are all in one place with my mask, with my alcohol, and so before I go out, I know I'm going to do it. So
yeah.
it
Yeah.
took a little bit of practice.
I like what you guys are doing, because without the ingredients, there's no taste, right? And those ingredients that you guys are selling at Ricardo Philippines, these are like really cool, innovative, products because um, you know gone are the days where you have to think like, how am I going
How?
to make adobo? right?
Yeah.
And now you're basically just, oh no, I just go to Ricardo Philippines and go to their Facebook or online or your website and order, all these ingredients. So now the next thing is just getting like the meat, the vegetable, and stuff like that, which is this is now the we're in a new norm, which it changes the buying habits of people. So like, what's your buying habit? Like, you're not different from everybody else. You have to get your stuff too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So how do
Sorry.
you
Are
go?
you getting it online now?
Yeah, how do
Yeah,
you do your groceries?
I actually wrote a whole article on LinkedIn because of this problem. So I was trying to solve that problem too. I thought I was trying to solve my own problem with my product to let customers actually start doing e-commerce much more and not do COD, right?
Yeah,
That they can trust the system. There's PayPal, there's Gcash. It's much easier, much safer to do that. But I actually had to go through the same kind of travel or journey myself. So in the beginning, because I was afraid to go out. I think everybody is very worried of carrying the. If I'm not asymptomatic, I'm going to be symptomatic, and then I'll be in the hospital. So I was so worried about that. So it was just at the right moment when I heard someone talk about Viber groups. They have the Viber groups for
Mm.
BGC, for like McKinley, and then there's Quezon City, there's Manila, and there's Metro Manila. So I started working, through that list, and my goodness, it's like thousands and thousands of each day of updates from different sellers. And now the next problem is, okay, what do I need to buy? And because each seller has their own product line, I couldn't buy one thing in one place. For example, when I'm trying to buy disinfectants, it's going to be in this place. If I want to buy, my set of shampoos or anything I need in the bathroom, is another group. And then when I figured out, okay, now I have like 6 people or 6 vendors I had to deal with, at the same time. I was juggling. And I think the other thing is the product. The product itself is the real one, because there can be fakes.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I was so worried about that, like buying the Lysol and it's fake. What if it just blows
Hmm.
in front of me, like
yeah, that's crazy.
explodes?
Yeah,
So I was like, now I have to like check. So when people were posting it, I was asking them, can you give me a customer reference? So that I know that I can get in touch with this customer and say, is it legit? So
yeah,
I had to do a legit check. But I had to do that for maybe a good 2 to 3 weeks before I figured out, okay, now these are my set of essentials that I need, that I know I'm not going to run to the grocery store any longer. I also have, because I'm in the line of food, apart from doing my corporate job still, I'm in line of food. So I have already a contact for vegetables and meat. So I didn't have any concerns around that because I know the quality. It was the other pieces that I had to figure out,
Mm.
and the freshest ingredients. Like for example, I have to get all these different kinds of flour, bread flour, cake flour, all-purpose flour. These are things that I use regularly in my cupboard or in my
Mhm.
cooking. So I explored further, but it took so much time and so much effort. So I had to write a story about it. How do
Mhm.
you figure yourself out, and then stay on it? The problem with
yeah.
me was, because I see other sellers too, I end up asking them, okay, how much is this? If it's cheaper, I start coordinating with them, and then I lose my loyalty on the other one. And I, I I found out that it wasn't right in a way, but
Yeah.
at the same time, my being practical was there, or kicking in. And when I realized that my practicality was actually sacrificing the relationship I've already built with the seller, I went back to my loyalties again. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
stray sometimes. That's what I stray sometimes and do that.
But see, that's
Yeah.
okay. That at least you get to see whether if you are getting the good deal. But yes,
But I failed.
loyalty goes a long way too, right? So
Yeah, but I
Right.
failed, Alexis. I think that's the other thing. I failed in some of these sellers. They're cheap, or they're right about the same amount that I would spend in a grocery.
yeah,
I'll give you an example. I bought bread. This guy was like raving that his amazing bread was one of the best, and I'm like a bread. I'm a bread person, especially when it comes to sourdough, or the ones that
mm,
are
Yeah.
hard to
Yeah.
find.
yeah,
And I see a lot of people saying, wow, that's amazing. As I bought it, my gosh, I bought one and I bought it for my family as well. Because I'm like, okay, there's like a raving fan out there about this guy, this baker. It's an epic fail. I mean, I spent so
Oh,
much. It's an epic fail. It's here like a rock. You know,
that is the
the bread
worst.
knife doesn't go through. I was
Oh,
pounding, literally, I was pounding on it. I couldn't even eat it. So
Ah.
we all have
well,
Yeah,
our,
so I guess
if
a
you
lot of people
you
are
have a
also
good
going
job,
through that through that journey, right? Like, I mean, a lot of people are afraid to do purchase online because the
yeah,
integrity of the product you don't know, and then you, like what you said, you got your loyalty to this brand or product, and then you go to another, and I guess for those people who are going through that journey, what can you advise those that are afraid to do it to do transactions online? Because like what you said earlier, there are a lot of factors that stops people from doing purchases
yeah,
online. First is that uh, afraid of being scammed. Second is that what's the integrity of the product, and
yeah,
a lot of things that goes into factor. What can you advise them? Like how can
yeah,
they engage
yeah.
themselves?
Hold on.
yes,
Before that, though, I do want to bring in another guest, and because
yeah,
you guys were talking about breads, and I saw this guy just baking it up, and
yeah,
so let's bring him up. Let's get Eric on.
Yeah.
Eric, can you hear
He's
us?
on
Hi.
value in today's.
Yes.
Okay, there it is.
Hello.
There it is. Yes, Eric, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
I can see a blank screen. Is it just me or?
He's frozen, but we can hear him. We can
Yeah,
hear him.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay,
Can
cool.
you hear us, Eric?
Yes, I can hear you. I think there's something wrong with my internet.
Yeah, that's all right. At least you're frozen in a good way because you've got a beautiful smile right now. So we can clearly hear you. And we were just talking about bread, and I was trying to tell these guys that I caught your post about baking bread, and I thought I'd rave about that really quick. But yeah, so we're talking about just the new norm, and Cheska sharing the experience so far going online. So how's your shopping been, Eric?
um, it's quite full. I've been doing a lot of stress shopping, I think, but it wasn't really this way. When before the, I wasn't really comfortable to yeah, to be blunt about it. I wasn't really comfortable with online shopping before the quarantine because I like getting a feel of the product. I like going to shops, like trying them on. So if I do online shopping, it's really either two things. It's either, you can source them locally, like I don't know, rubber shoes. Rubber shoes. Do people still use rubber shoes? Sneakers, yeah. So sneakers and firma kitchen equipment that are quite ridiculously priced locally. So those are the parang two things, mga high ticket items that I buy online. But if it's something like clothing or something I can experience with my hands on local shops as much as possible, I'm more comfortable going to shops. Now the whole ECQ I think changed everything. Um, so right now, I go to Facebook Marketplace. I go,
Yeah.
yeah, yes, and then some online referrals. So I have a lot of friends who are starting to sell food, or sometimes you get recommendations for store or stall owners in the wet market. So yeah, so we do online palengke, and then we do online grocery shopping, which is quite new. I think not just for me, but for everyone.
It is, and in fact, there's many people that are still not doing online
Yeah.
shopping. One is because they just don't have the technology, so not everybody has, I guess, smartphone, which is weird because now these days you would think that everybody just have smartphone, right?
Yes.
But it's not the norm. And at the same time, there is still not an adequate amount of data that our people are subscribing to, so they don't have, high speed internet on their phone that they can actually go and navigate, some of these online stores and stuff like that. So I mean, one of the things that a lot of people are really fearing is, they have access to online, but they're scared. Like what Cheska said earlier, you really just got to make sure you know where you're ordering and so on, because there are some, sometimes scammers, or, people that are selling fake stuff, or, they're basically aim to take advantage of you, but how do you guys like avoid that? So Cheska, you're on the online business, so like what can you tell people to be able to avoid getting scammed?
I think if it's the first time, so my I have three tips on that. If
Hmm.
it's the first time that you're purchasing from this person, I think the best way is to go COD. And the cash, it's cash. It's a cash in, transaction, right? But I think it's the reason for that is two things. One is you can check the quality right before it even arrives. You have an option to actually say no. When you know you were scammed, you can actually decline it and not lose anything. I've done that a few times, but was actually on the phone with the seller to let them know this is not exactly the product that I got. You know,
Mm,
and I think the most of the time they're ready to accept it back. And the
Mm.
second thing is that since I don't want to lose money in between that transaction, having to do it with cash is or cash on delivery is easier. The second thing is ask around. I think the seller is very open enough to lead you to other customers and the ones that bought. So at least you can check with other customers as well. And I didn't do I love marketplace. I used that before this pandemic, but I got hooked in Viber. And in Viber there were a lot of people who were giving references, and that helped a lot. So I think the second piece is get references with the ones that you're buying. But if you're buying something like essentials, you know that it's already packed and boxed. It's always going to be important to do referencing because it's very vulnerable to scams. Third, I think I know that some people are so worried about this. One essential is medicine. That one I didn't compromise. I had to make sure that I got it from source. Like I called Watson's, I called South Drug, which I never bought before in South Drug. And my daughter needed it. So we had to contact Mercury. We had to find the nearest one. So we ended up doing a drive-through in the Mercury, which is fine. But because I didn't want to sacrifice that, I didn't want anything to do with when it comes to medicine. It for me that's a holy grail. You know, you have no way to practice on that. So that was my clear thing. But the other ones, I was practicing a lot. Again, I think I lost money in doing this, but at the same time, I was very clear that I also want to support local sellers.
Hmm.
I didn't want to go into the big stores and go to Robinsons again, like, for some. I wanted to actually go to the micro SMEs and
yeah.
be more, start partnering. In fact, it's a good segue because, to land on this, we ended up having partnerships with some of them now in
Wow.
between this time. Yeah. So we ended up working together in partnerships because I love their product. I featured it. Alex is actually the crayfish that I got, and I was like using Cajun too. So I
Uh,
loved it, and I started featuring her, and now her sales went up, exponentially. So that was one of the I didn't intentionally want to do that, but it ended up to be that because I was so in love with their product.
nice, nice.
So
Eric,
those are
how about you? I mean, online, it's been very popular now.
Mm.
If people haven't done online shopping, I think after this week they probably will do online shopping. Have you gone through any kind of like scam or have had any bad experience? And how'd you get over that? And what's your suggestion?
Okay. So I'm wearing two hats right now because I also have a business,
Okay.
the Dog Planet Hotel. We have 22 branches. Um, it Yes. So it was, although we were ready for online because we were selling, but it was really dog essentials like dog food, um, uh, I know shampoo and grooming stuff. But There's this funny story. We had an order, so someone messaged us and wanted to buy yung dog collar. So
Mm.
I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so what color did you have in mind? And she was saying, I want to see all of the photos, and we have like 200 in stock. So, so what I'm trying to get at is that, as much as we would like to be ready for yung online selling, but it's just that the stocks are there's so much variance in our stores, and people still have that you wanna see all of your options before you start buying. So
Right.
even if it's just the basic as dog collar, but they want to see all of the photos, all 200 of them. So it's a funny story. It's quite a learning for us then, na we should at least right now starting to venture more online. um Not just the basics, as far as the dog spa is concerned. Now, personally naman, for me, I've had, I've been scam. I don't know, although there's a, I think there's a thin line kasi whether it's really scamming or it's really the online delivery process. Because I remember I ordered this item in the US, and then they were saying that they shipped it here, although I never really got it. And I think where the problem is in terms of customs and our postal service. So there's not 100% guarantee that you will receive the item. And I think it's not just me who's afraid of this. I think the sentiment is real and everyone's afraid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I did discover a logistic service, shipping cart. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. Shippingcart.com.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they have it's a Philippine owned company, and they have operations in the US and in the UK. So what they do is, so you sign in shippingcart.com, and they give you a PO box, a postal address that's based either in the UK or the US. So when you start shopping, for example, in the US, you just send over your items to that PO box number, and then they collate everything, and then they can ship it to you door to door. So they take care of logistics, they take care of your postal and everything. So it's hassle free, and I think that's one way to to solve your issues regarding shipping. Or at least it solved mine.
Yeah, I love shipping cart, by the way. So
Yeah.
for those of you that don't know shipping cart, if you've been wanting to go shopping at Amazon, this is it. Gone are the days when people say, "Oh, it's from Amazon. You can't get it because it's in the U.S. How am I going to get it over here?" Well, don't worry about that now, because with shipping cart, you get a virtual address, and that's where you get it shipped, and you can do it by air or sea. But you know what? By air, it doesn't cost a whole lot of money. And
Mm-mm.
today, we're giving away a promo code, and all you have to do is go to shippingcart.com and type in Salamat 15 off, and you get 15%
Yeah.
off that shipping fee. So yes, Eric, I completely agree. I love shipping cart, and I'm glad that you use it. But I wish that there are more online options, and at the same time I wish that people will be more confident about being online, because I
Yeah.
mean there's definitely a negative connotation about online, and I think it's slowly changing. And at the same time, it's not just for the buyers but also the sellers. They also feel bad because you guys are on the online business. You guys probably send something out, the next thing you know, the customer is going to say, no, I never got it, even though they did get it, and then they're going to ask for a refund and all that stuff,
Be
right?
fine.
So I wish that these things will just get better, because at the end of the day, this is our new norm, right?
It is. It is.
And so
And
I
and
wish
and
that, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. And no, no. And I was saying that it. There are two people who plays the part here, like the seller and then the buyer and the seller. So thankful for guys like you, like Ricardo, and then the dog spa, for being legit and making sure that you know the customer's preference or the customer's welfare are taken care of. And because of you, a lot of uh, a lot of customers are gaining traction in doing transactions online, saying that, hey, my experience with these people, with these businesses were good. Maybe I should try something else. Maybe I should try some other businesses. So thanks for that.
I think creating communities within the micro SMEs for me is essential, especially these days where it's very difficult to actually retain or sustain our revenue. You
Hmm.
know, having to even talk about others, even because before, before this pandemic, everybody would go for an X deal. I'm going to talk about your name if you do this, right? So
Yeah,
and I was very, very
that's
particular
fine.
around that with everybody that I was buying from. It I said, if I love your products, I'm just gonna say it, because I think it's help, it's free help. It's not because I don't think I'm such a big influencer enough, but I know that my voice do make a difference, because especially being a micro SME myself, I struggle in terms of revenue, and to help others is something that I know if we create those communities, we'll be able to sustain everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and have that income, and I love what your point is, Paul, where it brings up trust and respect to Philippine products. If it's not just Philippine products, but even the service that people provide. I think that it has an indirect impact to many, especially our farmers. If you buy, especially now you hear a lot of it online. Merong yung si Kuya. We also have si Ate, right? We also have our wet market folks that ends up sending us emails. I text messages, and I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's make sure that the product is of high quality, and we're in. We're just gonna broadcast you and let people know about your products. It's very, very important, especially now. And I think it should not just be now. I think it should be the way it is, that we create
Yeah.
these communities and help each other out. It's just the only way that Philippines can survive and will survive. And we've always been this way anyway. We love barter trading. Like, I don't know if you guys heard about the recent
Oh,
news on barter trading with no,
crazy.
it's just
Barter,
I love
yeah.
it. We're so hooked on it. Like literally, we're like cleaning up our closet.
yeah,
Man, we're so hooked on it. As soon as we bartered or traded one item, man,
that's
it
it.
was just like a drug. It was.
Yeah.
We already traded like 6 items. My wife is like on it. She's like a pro now.
I wouldn't
So
be
we were,
surprised.
yeah. So we
We're
were able
going.
to get the things that we wanted. So which is good.
I think it's funny that we always talk about going back to basics, and then trying to build on this before, and then we say, oh, we're going to go digital and forget about the past. Now it's like a convergence of both going basics and going online on it. It's just
Yeah.
amazing to
Yeah.
see. It's amazing
Yeah.
to see.
But to make the online very successful, and I think I really want people to understand this is that this is the new norm, right?
Yeah. It
Until
is.
we actually find a vaccine, then I literally want to say I'm scared to go out, even though we are allowed to go out.
Yeah.
So the new norm is try to do everything digital, right? Touchless, contactless. So in that said, payment, right? Everybody's still old school. COD,
Yes.
can I give you a check? Can I pay you cash? But where's my sukle? You know, and all that stuff. And I'm like, guys, take advantage of like PayPal, like what Cheska said earlier, PayPal,
Yeah.
PayMaya, Gcash, right?
Online
So
transfer.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
fund
right,
trans.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
absolutely.
gonna share an experience on PayPal, right? So I subscribe something online, and I forgot to unsubscribe from that platform, and it's taking me a while to contact the business. So when I went back to PayPal, there's an option in PayPal to hit the automatic payment off, so it protects you also if you use this kind of platforms. Similarly with other payment options we're in, they don't give your money right away to your to the seller, but they wait for the delivery to be with you first prior to crediting it to the seller. So I think more and more businesses are doing that right now, and making sure that there is safety for both players, for both the buyer and the seller.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I really love like Gcash and Paymaya. Just to give an example, I was
Uh,
just at the grocery store yesterday, and you know, I basically paid for my grocery with Paymaya. I never had to touch anything other than just my phone, and then from there, I got 10% cash back. That's another
that's
advantage of
true.
like using like Paymaya. But the other thing is that it really protects you, because now you're eliminating handing off a piece of money, and then in return getting change back, or giving your credit card, then in return you get that credit card back, but you don't know what's in that credit card at that point. And I get it, we will try to sanitize everything as much as we can, but Jesus Christ, I mean, I'm not gonna about to carry purse just to carry Lysol and disinfectant and all that stuff. So I really think that all stores should be more, touchless as far as
Yep.
Yeah.
their transaction. I think that would be really helpful.
I think
So
there's
you guys,
another one that we're probably missing, which is InstaPay,
yeah,
available for fund
InstaPay.
transfer. Yeah, InstaPay I think is one of the best evolution in bank transfers. Or I think Union Bank has done an amazing job in doing InstaPay first, and it's
Yeah.
such an easy application to use. I hope that the other banks, I know BDO has it already, but they're still not as easy to use compared to Union Bank. There's an error actually. Just wanted to warn people, when you actually transfer via InstaPay, the system will only recognize the digits. Even if you
oh,
put a different name on it, it will not be it. It will be accepted. So you have to make sure that you do, because when you pay the right seller. You have to make sure that you have the right details there. You can very well go to another person, but they will,
Yeah.
as long as the digits are correct. You have to make sure that it is correct. The
Yeah.
secondary check, which is the name, would probably not be checked by the bank. Not like before, that you have to have every single name with the middle initial in it. Currently, the system doesn't do that anymore. It's just a number.
oh,
And,
nice.
and
Yeah,
and then you
I know.
mentioned Union Bank, right?
Yeah,
Sorry, just before, people are afraid to do this online banks because they think that for you to open up an account, you have to maintain a balance like
right.
15,000, 10,000 pesos. But I saw an ad in EDSA from Union Bank that it takes nothing to open up an account with them. So
Yes, and it's actually you can do that online now. You can open an account online now in Union Bank. I'm not a Union Bank person, okay, so I'm just saying my experience. But I'm not selling you, but I love the experience so far from a consumer standpoint, because you can
yeah,
open
yeah,
an online
yeah,
account without being in the bank. I hate lining up in the bank, but at the same time, when you actually have it, when you do transfers and you're still worried about the seller, there are two options for you. PesoNet, which takes 3 days for it to be transferred, the funds. You can pull out in between that. But if something happens in between and you're not sure about the seller, you can pull out. Or InstaPay, because InstaPay is instantaneous, it gets credited immediately. So you can have an option like that if you're still feeling a little bit with hesitation with the seller. But I would still say, if you have a high hesitation or apprehensive, don't buy, because
Yeah,
most likely your instincts are correct. you know
Correct.
I would always say that if you're sure about this buyer, especially when you call them, you have an idea whether the person is legit over the phone, right? But again,
yeah,
there are still scammers
yeah,
there where it's good. But
yeah.
if you're feeling a little bit, cautious about it, don't pursue the transaction. I would say that's probably my fourth tip. Don't pursue the transaction. Move on to something else or somebody else.
I agree. Follow your gut. You know.
Yeah, follow your
Yeah.
gut.
Speaking of buyer safety, and if I may just backtrack a bit, now we're talking about payment options. And this is something that I've learned, my partner and I learned, but he learned it the hard way. So there was this one time when his Gcash got hacked,
Oh
and
no.
then yeah, it got hacked. So he called the helpline, and then while he was getting serviced, we can actually see that there was transactions ongoing with his account. But the good thing is, when because Gcash, diba, you have to load it. So I think the load was just 10,000, and that's it. So the hacker was able to spend the money, but it wasn't as much. It's 10,000 is 10,000, but if had you loaded it more, then there goes your money, right? So I think that's one safety tip, that if you're not gonna use it, then only load as much as you can use. So we
Yeah.
learned that the hard way. So what we do right now, if you were using Gcash, we're in the grocery, we load it right there and then on how much we are to spend, and then we use Gcash for payment.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I like that.
Yeah.
Because I actually got hacked. It was my first month using Gcash, and I was all excited, so I put money in it. And next thing you know, someone hit me up on Facebook, and it looked legit, right? And they said, "Oh, I think something's wrong with your account." And so I said, "Okay, what do I need to do?" And they said, "Well, enable for us to help you. Can you provide me your PIN number, your MPIN code, right?" And I'm like, "Okay, sure, no problem." So I provided. Sure enough, seconds. It took seconds. As soon as I gave that number, I saw a text message go up on my phone saying that, you withdrew 20,000 pesos. I was like, huh? Hold on. Wait a second. No. So these are like some of the experience that not just myself, like what you just said, right? Go through. But you guys are online merchant. Like you guys have an online business. So I'm sure you guys have craziest or the craziest customer you had online.
I think the craziest by far is that dog collar story where we had to send 200 photos of our stocks just for her to. She doesn't even know the color that she wanted, so she just wanted to see
Oh
all
my
of the
god.
everything that we're carrying. And as we obliged, but I had to text all of our branches so that they can send me photos of their stocks, dog colors, just for her to pick one. But it was fun. It was fun. I mean, we welcome it anytime.
Man, that's crazy, but that's showing like what great customer service that your company is actually extending out to your customers. So Cheska, how about you? Any crazy customers or not name them? So
Yeah, I would always say that I will always be loyal to our customers and not say anything. But it's because it's probably very particular. But I would say, honestly, we've never had crazy customers. I think we had more customers who were pursuing certain questions that we felt we had the answers for already in the website, or the questions just keep coming and we couldn't get to a point where, okay, are you going to buy or not? So I think that was the, I don't say it's a crazy thing, but I think it's more about customers are more, I feel more demanding over online or social, because they couldn't see the product. I think that's, and I don't think they're crazy. I would say that they're much more cautious, and they ask for more details, like specifications. Okay, height. Like, will it fit this? Can I store it here? Can I store it not there but here? We also had customers where they were really not good in texting, so they would ask, "Can you just call me?" And I'm like, "Okay,
Mm.
okay, I'll call you." So it was more that I think the beauty about us as an entrepreneur, like Eric and I actually were high school friends too. It's crazy.
oh,
The
Yes, we
small world.
are.
Yeah. No,
Wow.
grade school to high school. My gosh. I think the shifting of the idea is not to treat them like crazies. I think to treat them as customers, that they're probably confused, cautious, concerned, worried about something, like especially our dogs, or our pets at home. In our case, the kitchen, things that they need to cook for their children. These things are probably in their minds, and I didn't want to like be ahead of them and saying, "Oh my God, this is a crazy person, and therefore I should not interact the way that I should." So we would pick up the phone, especially if it's too long already. I'll pick up the call and say, "Okay, I think it's best for us to talk now, so at least we can discuss." So I'm very much still in operations. I speak with our customers very often and pick up customer insights, find out what they're thinking or feeling, what they're cooking, what I can do if they bought something, what they love to cook. So I think that's probably my general feel around that. There's not much to the crazies. I think there was only a few customers. I was so fortunate, and I don't know, Eric, if you're experiencing the same thing, but in e-commerce, we probably have a 1 or 2% fail rate on deliveries. You
Mm,
know, even if it's cash on delivery, I was worried about that because a customer can disappear, right? Because
yeah.
there's no hold. But we only had a 1 or 2% fail rate in that, and that too, I still get my product back, right? So the only thing I
Mm.
spent for was the rider's time and gas.
Yeah, or
Got it.
sometimes it's not the item that they had in mind. So
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
so they just. I think that's a good. So speaking about customer service, I think that's a good tip for especially for those who are, venturing into online selling. Especially we have a lot of them right now. So I think what gives you the edge is if you have established that relationship, that good relationship with your customers, and you get promoted by word of mouth. So for example, so a lot of people right now are selling face masks.
yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
And there's a variation in terms of prices. And that's okay. I mean, I don't mind buying a more expensive face mask if it's just a few hundreds, as long as you know that, you're supporting a business, of someone who got displaced for their jobs, diba? So reselling is okay. But the thing is that the thing that would make it different is your personal relationship with your customers. So don't get irritated if you get asked a lot of questions,
Right,
and
right.
go that extra mile into um your patience. For example, it's so hard to book online delivery right now. I'm sure Chesley's
Totally.
established this.
Yes.
So it's persistence, it's that establishing that good customer relations that will give you the edge. So even with the rising competition, that will give you the advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I agree. Yeah.
Agree.
Customer
And
service.
I think competition, yes, it's gonna grow, but I think there's still not enough people actually online. Given the fact more people, as we said, earlier, more people will go online, and this is just the beginning of it, because this is the
Yeah.
new norm. So guys, it's top of the hour, and just want to say thank you guys. It's very insightful, and I wish that we can go on for like 3 more hours, but I'm sure that you guys probably have your
Yeah.
shopping and organization that you guys need to sort out. So I appreciate you guys coming through. And any last word? Let's start with Cheska. What would you tell our people?
Well, thank you so much again, Alexis and Paul, and Eric as well for being here and this topic. I was saying to myself, I think over a few months ago, Alexis, I think we were chatting with each other. One of my missions or one of my bucket lists was actually to be in a podcast. So you actually gave me that. So I want to thank you for this opportunity. It's my very first. I didn't know how it is, so it was a good entry to this world. I think for everybody who's watching and listening, one is support local.
Yeah.
Support local. I think that we all need it. Not just the entrepreneurs, but I think our quality of product will increase by the increase in demand as well. I think all of us will probably see that those with less quality will also not survive. The other piece that
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to highlight as well is for those who are thinking of becoming a micro SME, starting to think about their business, remember to always think of the sustainability of your business. One of the things I'm proud of with Recado Philippines is that all of our products are, especially the ones in the bottles and the refillables, are all sustainable. So at least we take care of the environment as well. So as you're thinking about the business, don't start too big.
Yeah.
Start something small. The two things that I will say there, if you're starting your business, is one, it has to be something you're passionate about, that you cannot live without, that you will eat or have that service, whatever it's a product or if it's a service, it's something you cannot live without. And then two, it's a problem that you're solving every single time. That's the only way your business will be able to survive. And lastly, for all of those who are still venturing into the online world, trust the system. I would go for bank transfers to PayPal, to PayMaya, to GCash because they have already built their system with high security. But remember, it's still up to you to trust the seller, right?
Yeah.
It must
Yeah.
be double checked, and that you can always reference yourself with a customer and ask them how their experience is like. Viber groups are great communities to go to. The Facebook marketplace is also great because there are star ratings for them and there are recommendations. So do your proper homework. Just takes time. So
Yeah.
you can still do that. You have so much time
I
because you're
love
at
it.
home. So try it. And lastly, try Mercado Philippines. I still want to share that. It would be great for you to try our
Yes.
products. We're very proud of it. We're turning a year. It's been a very it's been a great ride this year for our first year, and I hope you get to try our products too.
We'll do,
Yeah.
and
I
we'll make
what's
sure
your
that
contact for that for the Facebook? Is that Recado PA?
Yeah, it's Ricardo
Okay.
Philippines. And then
Mm-hmm.
for IG, for our Instagram, it's Ricardo at Ricardo PH. And our phone number is 0917-188-5815. And yes, we still take calls for your order. We still do that. Thank you so much,
thank you
guys.
for that. Eric, how about you? Last words.
Okay, so I guess Chaska said everything, but yes, thank you for having me here. Again, I can't overly emphasize support local businesses. I have a local business as well, and there are a lot of budding entrepreneurs out there. Reselling is okay as long as make sure that you provide quality products and good service. Um, and again, for those who would like to do reselling and you want to buy your items in the US or in the UK, you can use shippingcart.com or any, at least research for a reputable supplier just to make sure that you're doing your transactions safely. Um, there's a prop over there. I actually just got my order yesterday as well. Yes, that's totally fine.
Uh, I just
Funny.
got
But
delivery
for
while
those
we're
of
having a
buying
podcast.
buying
Thank you,
locally,
shipping cart.
also support farm to table. So there are a lot of entrepreneurs who are also sourcing from local farmers. So please support them. It may be a little more expensive than grocery bought, but that's okay because you're supporting lives. You're putting food on their table, so that's okay. So and you know that they're quality products because they're organic and they're grown without pesticide free, right? So
Yeah.
I guess that's it. Support local. People are
Well,
striving. People are doing their best. So
I agree.
let's support each
Thank you for
other.
that. So, guys, I just want to say maraming salamat. Enjoy your Saturday, and hope to have you guys back on our show again next time.
Sure. Maraming
Sure.
salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Eric and
All right.
Cheska.
Okay,
That was
Paul.
fun, man.
That was fun, man. I actually learned a lot, and just to do a quick recap. So, you know, shopping, the traditional shopping is now gone, and they need
Yeah.
to either pivot to the new way of shopping, which is either online, or if you are still going to do the traditional shopping, then you got to make sure that you are creating a plan before you actually go out there. And if you do go online, just got to make sure that you trust your gut, and make sure that you don't just you know leave all your money in all these wallets until you are confident in utilizing it fully. So then the other thing is just making sure that you read reviews of the online
Yeah.
sellers, just to make sure and you can validate it. So but one thing I did learn, so I learned from Cheska earlier, is the Viber. I didn't even know about that, and so I looked it up. So
Add us up.
yeah. So I just want to say thank you to Shipping Cart, and with Shipping Cart, Paul, if while I'm saying thank you to Shipping Cart, maybe you can show our people. Let's see here how we can do this. Boom, there it is. So Shipping Cart is your way to be able to go shopping from a U.S. online store So feel free to do your shopping and you can get your electronics, your fashion, your medicine, you name it. And how long does it take, Paul?
For the air cargo, about 2 weeks. For sea cargo, it would take you about um, 30 days.
So 15 days or 2 weeks rather, and then 30 days for freight or sea freight. So please, if you want to go shopping from Amazon or you name it, any online store in the US, go through shipping cart. And today until July 15, if you use our code Salamat 15 off, you'll get 15% discount. Wow. Is that the Amazon Echo Show HD? Hey,
No,
you're supposed to
the
gift that
Echo
to
Show.
me, man.
Yeah, I
Well, well, now that you got your shipping cart, so why don't you send it to me via LBC because that's still a sister
Thank you,
company.
shipping cart.
Yeah, thank you, shipping cart. So please come check them out. 15% discount. That's something. That's a lot because
That's
we're
a
talking
lot.
about, man. So all right. Paul, is there anything else?
No, just thank you for. I think the new norm will allow us to explore more and do your if you're going to do business online or buy online, do your due diligence. But I think I love what Cheska said. Just start it, right? Do it, and just make sure that you study what's the norm, and if it's sustainable, if it's something that would resolve people's problems. I think those are the key takeaways that I'm getting right now, and I'm excited on what this holds for the rest of the community. So congratulations to all the SMEs, the small medium businesses, and then all the Filipino businesses, and support local. Yes.
I agree. I agree. So for that, I just want to say maraming salamat, Paul. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
If you found value in today's show, hit the like button and share with your friends. Make sure to visit our Facebook page, Salamat, to get notifications about our shows. Maraming salamat!
Yo.
You can feel it in the air. Over here. If you found value in today's show, hit the like button and share with your friends. Make sure to visit our Facebook page, Salamat, to get notifications about our shows. Maraming salamat!
Now and forever, remember we fit together oh so perfectly. No limit as far as we can see. We're singing our song.